Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. As you can tell from the title, we are doing a 1-month update for Kingston. He was born November 1st at about 8 in the morning. He weighed in at 7 pounds, 14 ounces, and he was 19.5 inches. Labor-wise was, pretty ideal. They always say the second baby comes fast, and that was very true. Tenley was about 18 hours of labor. And then with Kingston, my water broke before. With Tenley, they broke my water. But with Kingston, my water broke before, and then I started going into labor. And it lasted about, what was it? I think, so 7 hours, I think it was, 7 hours. Literally, they went to check on me after like a couple of hours, giving me the epidural, and he was coming out and I didn't even know it. So all the doctors are rushing around like, what do? We need to find someone, da da da. And so they found a doctor in the hallway, brought her in, and she got there just in time to deliver the baby. So anyways, like I said, he was about a little more than 7.5 pounds, 19.5 inches. And then Tenley was also about the same weight, but she was, I think, 17.5 or 18 inches. So they're pretty much about the same. When I was pregnant, they kept saying I was gonna have a big baby, so I'm expecting this 10-pound baby to come out, and he was so little. He's not so little anymore. It's amazing how fast they grow. But we just had a doctor's appointment a couple days ago, so I'm filming this a little late. He's not quite a month anymore. He's about a month and a half, or not a month and a half, a month and a week. Who cares? So I'm a little late. I'm a little late on everything. Life of a mom. So right now he is, I have it written down, he is 10.5 pounds, so 10 pounds, 8 ounces, and 21 inches and a quarter. So he's growing, so that's good. My breastfeeding's working. Just to, I guess, dive into that breastfeeding, that's been going really well. Like, I don't want to jinx myself, but with Tenley, I had a really hard time the first month. Ended up getting mastitis at about 6 weeks. There was a lot of pain. It was just not good. But with him, like, it's been amazing. He, the first couple days, he did have trouble latching on. I think he was just really lazy. So he just didn't care to eat. So I was sitting there worried that he didn't know how to nurse. But he did a couple cluster feeds, and then all of a sudden he was a pro. Really no pain. Engorgement was pretty bad for a couple days, but I pumped just to relieve myself. And then I wouldn't pump after that because I didn't want to get an oversupply and be in all that pain from engorgement. So I was engorged for about like 3 days, and then it went away, and it's been pretty good. He pretty much eats every 2.5 to 4 hours, I would say. He does go a couple days where he's like eating every hour, but he's a really efficient eater. We're talking like 8 minutes and he's done, which is crazy because Tenley was 45 minutes to feed her, which, like, by the time you're done feeding and you get her dressed to get out of the house where you're going, you gotta feed her again. Like with him, it's awesome. So we're looking at like 8 minutes. It's amazing. As far as going back to him being a really lazy eater, he was extremely sleepy for the first 3 weeks of his life. Like, we probably saw his eyes open maybe 5 minutes a day. Hence why he didn't eat very well, because he was just so tired. Tenley, complete opposite. Like, was really awake, was really alert. Just, they're so different. It's crazy. We thought something maybe was wrong with him because he was so sleepy, but after about 3 weeks, he kind of woke up, and now he goes through, he has like maybe an hour in the morning where he's awake, and then at night he seems to be a little bit more awake here and there. He still does sleep a lot, but we do get to see him a little bit more, and now we're starting to see him smile, so we're starting to see a little bit of personality come out, and I guess reap the rewards of everything, finally getting a little interaction. Going into his night sleeping, that was pretty rough. he wanted to constantly be held or just near you. So he's a really noisy sleeper, always making like tons of like grunts, and he sounds like a velociraptor, the dinosaur. So it kept me up constantly. So I ended up, after the first week of him sleeping in our room in the bassinet, I moved into his nursery and slept in the recliner. We have a rocking recliner in there, which is actually pretty comfortable, so don't feel bad for me. Because I just thought he was so noisy that he was gonna wake Jake up, and not that Jake minded at all, but it made like me feel anxious about the fact that he's not getting any sleep when he has to wake up at 4 in the morning to go to work. So I felt better, like I could sleep better with him out of the room. So we did that for a couple of weeks, but I wasn't really getting much sleep. So I ended up bringing him into bed with me. So I went back into our bedroom and I slept with him. We bed shared with him for about a week. Then the doctor at his month visit told us that we need to start sleep training him, and which I hate, but I understand how important it is for a baby to be able to put themselves to sleep, and just the confidence that they end up having and how much happier they are when they are able to get to sleep on their own. So with Tenley, we waited until she was about 3 or 4 months to do this because I chickened out at 1 month and I couldn't do it. But I always told myself with the next baby, I would make sure to do it right away. And I've been cringing it, and when she said it, I was like, oh man, seriously? So we kind of started sleep training him. And so now I'm back in his room because, you know, having him cry it out, so to speak, with Jake, because Jake goes to sleep at 8:30 and I put him to bed, Kingston to bed at 10:30. So I'd be waking Jake up and he'd be crying for who knows how long, and it just wouldn't work. So we're back in his room. I kind of talked about this in the Breakfast with Santa video as far as sleep training, but we started sleep training, last night was night 2. Night 1, I quit. I couldn't do it. I did it the doctor wanted me to do 10 minutes, go and console, 10 minutes, go and console, 10 minutes, go and console, and then just stop. Like if it's not working, it's not working, we'll try again tomorrow. I did the 10 minutes, it was awful. Then I went in and did another 10 minutes and then I quit. I couldn't do it anymore. It was stressing me out. Last night I tried it again and I decided to just, I guess, really test and see how he was doing and kind of go with him as a guide versus just doing exactly what the doctor said. Because with Tenley, we couldn't do the 10 minutes, 10 minutes. I had to let her just cry until she fell asleep, because when I would go in there to console her, it was worse. She would just scream. But when I would leave her alone, her crying wasn't so bad. So it was like, okay, obviously she doesn't like to be, consoled. She probably, because she's seeing me, she wants to be held so bad that she just gets worse. So out of sight, out of mind. And it only took us a couple days to sleep train her. Granted, she was 3, 4 months old at the time. But so with him, the first time I did 6, 7 minutes. The next time I did about 8 minutes. And then the third time around 6 minutes, he stopped crying. And for the next, I would say probably hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, he would cry on and off, but very small bits. And then he was asleep. So I went to bed around 11:30, and he was asleep. I think I fed him 8:39. So we started sleep training at 9. So about, I'd say probably 10:30, 11, he was asleep. And I went in just a little bit after to go to bed to sleep with him in there. And I think it was around 1:30 I woke up. I guess because I'm probably used to waking up every 3 hours now. So about 1:30ish, I woke up and checked on him, and he was awake, but he wasn't crying. So I changed his diaper, fed him, put him back down. He didn't go straight to sleep, but he didn't cry. He just kind of hung out there and then went to sleep. Again, still really noisy eater, so I'm constantly having to turn my flashlight on to look to see if, like, is he awake making noise or is he asleep just making his normal noises. And you can probably hear him now. He's sleeping and he's over there like having just like a marathon talking session right now. So put him back to bed. He probably fell asleep around 2 and then woke up around 4:30ish, 5:30, and he was awake again. And then so brought him into the chair with me, fed him, and then I kind of held him for a little bit because I kind of miss holding him because he usually falls asleep in my arms and I hold him at night. So he fell asleep and I held him for a little bit, put him back in his crib. That time he was asleep completely. And then he woke up around, I think, 8:30ish, and Jake went in and got him. And then I didn't feed him again until we got to breakfast with Santa. Our goal is not to have him sleep through the night. That is not our goal whatsoever. I'm fine with waking up every 3 hours to feed him. My goal is to be able to put him in his crib at 8:30 at night or 8 o'clock at night, whenever we decide is gonna be his bedtime, and for him to sleep until it's time to be fed again. So that's kind of our goal. I don't want to be stuck holding him. Nighttime is the best time for me to get things done. So I can't be holding a baby for 2-3 hours at night, not being able to do the laundry or the dishes or food prep or get whatever I need to get done that I can't get done in the day because of Tenley. So that's my goal. And last night was actually, I would say, pretty successful. 2 times where I had to listen to him cry consistently was bad, but I got things done in the, during it. So that's my advice to you. If you're trying to sleep train, do something. You have to keep yourself busy. You obviously want to listen because you want to listen to how hard they're crying. Is it getting better? Is it getting worse? So you can really fill out your baby and see what works for you, because I don't think there's one way that works for everybody. Just listen to your baby, but distract yourself. So I did laundry, I went through our mail, I was filing things away, anything that I could get done that I guess took my mind off of how awful I felt and how bad of a mother I was feeling. I'm not against cry it out. I was with Tenley until I was at my breaking point and had to do it. And like I said, it took like 2 or 3 days to train her, and I swear that child changed the moment she was able to put herself to sleep. She woke up so happy and smiling instead of waking up crying. She was just a much more confident child, and I can tell you she was not in any way, shape, or form harmed by me letting her cry it out. She is an independent, confident little girl, crazy as ever, strong-willed. I don't think it ruined her confidence whatsoever or her trust in me as a mother or someone that will come to her aid. There were regressions along the way, and we did have trouble getting her to nap after Kingston was born, but we seem to be on track again. So, doing cry it out once does not mean you won't have to do it again, but she is great. So this time when the doctor told me, even though I was dreading it, I knew that it works and that there's nothing wrong with it. I know a lot of people probably disagree with me, but from my experience, that's what I've felt.